Can you speak English fluently in 5 months? Spoiler alert, yes, you absolutely can. And today I'll show you exactly how to achieve this step by step. By the end of this lesson, you will understand what fluency really means, how to achieve it, and how to maximize both your learning time and the quality of your practice. We'll also cover some common myths about learning languages and break down the most effective methods to help you succeed. What does it mean to be fluent? Before we talk about how to get fluent in English, let's take a moment to define what fluency actually means. Many people misunderstand the term and think that being fluent means you speak a language perfectly like a native speaker, but that's not necessarily true. In fact, fluency doesn't mean you have to speak English perfectly. Fluency simply means that you can communicate effectively and naturally without too much hesitation. Imagine water flowing smoothly down a river. That's what fluency in a language feels like. Your words come out naturally and you don't have to stop and think too much before speaking. To be very more specific, fluency in English means smooth and easy communication. You can speak in a way that flows naturally. You feel confident, you feel comfortable expressing your thoughts even if you make mistakes. Conversation ready. You can hold a regular conversation about everyday topics like talking about your day, asking for direction, or discussing your hobbies. It's important to note that fluency is not the same as native level perfection. Even native speakers make mistakes from time to time. The key to fluency is communication. If you can communicate your thoughts clearly and understand others, you are fluent. Even if you don't know every single word in the dictionary or if you make small grammar mistakes, that's okay. We are not aiming for perfection here. We are aiming to natural, effective communication. The concept of fluency in 5 months, now that we know that fluency is, let's talk about how you can become fluent in 5 months. You might be wondering, is that really possible? The answer is yes, but it requires focus, commitment, and the right approach. First, let's clear up a common misconception. Time alone doesn't determine how fast you learn a language. It's not just about how many months or years you spend learning, but how effectively you use that time. Someone who studies for 2 hours every day for 5 months can achieve fluency faster than someone who only practices on once a week for 5 years. It's about quality and quantity. You need to combine the two for the best results. Quantity, how much time should you invest? To achieve fluency in 5 months, you will need to invest a significant amount of time into learning and practicing English. But how much time exactly? A general rule of thumb is about 600 hours of focused, effective practice. That may sound like a lot, but let's break it down. 600 hours over 5 months equal roughly 20 hours per week or out to 4 hours per day. If you are serious about learning English quickly, you will need to commit to practicing every day. Now, you might be thinking 3 to 4 hours a day sounds overwhelming. But don't worry. This doesn't mean you have to sit at a desk studying grammar for 4 hours straight. In fact, That would be a bad idea. You can split your practice into smaller chunks throughout the day. For example, spend 1 hour in the morning listening to an English podcast while you have breakfast. Use 30 minutes during lunch to review vocabulary or read an article in English. Watch a 45 minutes English TV show or YouTube video in the evening focusing on understanding the dialogue. Spend another 45 minutes practicing speaking by repeating phrases or having conversation with yourself friends or an online language partner. By breaking it up, you make it more manageable and can fit language learning into your everyday routine. Quality. How should you spend your learning time? While the number of hours you spend learning is important, the quality of those hours is even more crucial. You could spend 5 hours a day passively listening to English with no focus, or you could spend just one focused and engaged hour practicing specific skills, and the latter will give you better results. So, how do you maximize the quality of your learning? Through focused practice. Don't just passively listen to English, pay attention. Actively try to understand what's being said. Observe how sentences are structured and repeat key phrases out loud. Second, comprehensible input. Make sure the material you are studying is at the right level for you. It should be challenging enough to push you, but not so difficult that you feel lost. If you are watching a TV show or reading an article where you only understand 10% of the words, it's too difficult. Aim for understanding around 80%. This will help you learn without getting discouraged. Third, speaking practice. You must practice speaking if you want to become fluent. Reading and listening are important, but speaking is the only way to develop fluency. Find a language partner or tutor to practice with, or even talk to yourself. Practicing speaking out loud will help you build the confidence and muscle memory needed to speak naturally. First, emotional engagement. The more you enjoy the process, the faster you will learn. Choose topics that interest you and find ways to make learning fun. Watch movies you love in English. Read about your hobbies or listen to English music. You don't need a huge vocabulary to be fluent. One of the biggest myths about fluency is that you need to know thousands and thousands of words to be fluent. In reality, you only need around a 4,000 common words. I'm to hold everyday conversation in English. Think about it. In daily life, we mostly talk about common everyday topics like the weather, food, work, family, and hobbies. You don't need to know advanced vocabulary like metamorphosis or subatomic to have a normal conversation. A smaller, more focused vocabulary is much more effective than trying to memorize thousands of words you will rarely use. Start by mastering the most commonly used words and phrases in English. You can gradually expand your vocabulary as you go. But if you want to get fluent in 5 months, focus on learning words that will help you communicate right away. The power of listening. Train your ear to understand English. Listening is one of the powerful tools for learning any language. When you listen to English, you are not just learning vocabulary, you are also training your ear to understand the natural rhythm, intonation, and flow of the language. This is critical for fluency. Spend as much time as you can listening to English. You can listen to podcasts, audiobooks, YouTube videos, TV shows, or movies, music with lyrics. The more you listen, the more you will start to pick up on how native speakers connect their words, which will help you improve your own speaking skills. But remember, passive listening is not enough. You need to actively listen. Pay attention to how words are pronounced, how sentences are structured, and how native speakers express themselves in different situations. Speaking with confidence, don't be afraid to make mistakes. One of the biggest barriers to fluency is fear of making mistakes. Many learners are afraid to speak because they don't want to sound silly or say the wrong thing. But here's the truth: mistakes are a necessary part of learning. In fact, the more mistakes you make, the faster you will improve. When babies learn to speak, they make tons of mistakes. They say words wrong, they mix up grammar, and they mispronounce things, but they keep trying and eventually they become fluent. You need to adopt the same mindset. Don't be afraid to speak, even if you are not 100% confident in your grammar or pronunciation. Remember, fluency is not perfection. Fluency means being able to communicate effectively, even if you make mistakes. As long as people understand what you are trying to say, you are on the right track. To help you build confidence, start by practicing in a low pressure environment. Talk to yourself in English at home. Practice with a friend or use language apps where you can speak with people from all over the world. The more you practice, the more comfortable you will become. Repetition is key. Train like a champion. Think of language learning into training for a sport. If you want to become a champion athlete, you have to practice regularly and with intensity. The same goes for learning English. When athletes train, they don't just try a new skill once and move on. They practice it over and over again until it becomes second nature. You should approach language learning the same way, repeatedly until it becomes a natural part of your vocabulary. This is called spaced repetition, and it's one of the most effective ways to remember new information. Here's how you can use repetition in your daily English practice. Firstly, review vocabulary regularly. Every day, review the words and phrases you learned the day before. Secondly, use new words in sentences. As soon as you learn a new word, use it in a sentence. Try creating different sentences with the same word throughout the day. For example, if you learn the word opportunity, try saying things like, "This is a great opportunity to learn English. I had the opportunity to meet new people today. There is an opportunity to practice English in this conversation." Thirdly, practice speaking out loud. Don't just think the sentences in your head, say them out loud. This helps you get used to the sound of your own voice speaking English and builds your confidence. The more you practice speaking, the smoother and more natural it will feel. Revisit old lessons as you continue learning. Go back to previous lessons and review them. Language learning is not a straight line. You need to revisit material multiple times to truly master it. Remember, repetition isn't boring. It's how we train our brains to absorb and retain new information. The more you repeat a word or phrase, the more easily it will come to mind when you need it. Immerse yourself in English. Surround yourself with the language. Immersion is one of the best ways to learn a new language quickly. When you immerse yourself in English, you force your brain to constantly engage with the language, which speeds up the learning process. You don't need to move to an English speaking country to immerse yourself in. When you learn a new word or phrase, don't just look it up once and move on. Use it by surrounding yourself with English as much as possible. Here are some practical ways to immerse yourself in English so no matter where you live. Change your environment to English. Set your phone and computer to English. This is a small but powerful step by changing the language setting on your phone device. You will get used to reading and navigating in English throughout your day. Watch TV shows and movies in English. Start with subtitles in your native language if you need them, but over time, switch to English subtitles and eventually no subtitles at all. Pay attention to how people speak and try to repeat sentences out loud. Listen to English podcasts or audiobooks. Choose topics that interest you so you stay engaged. Listening to English while you are commuting, exercising, or doing household chores can make a big difference. There are podcasts for every interest, whether it's storytelling, news, comedy, or educational topics. Create English only zones. Designate certain times of the day or certain areas of your home where you only use English. For example, when you are in the kitchen, try to think and speak in English about what you are doing. I'm making a sandwich or I need to buy some apples. When you are relaxing in the living room, read an English book or watch an English video. In the morning, listen to an English news update or practice vocabulary. These small things build up over time and make a big difference in how comfortable you feel with the language. Find an English speaking community. Even if you don't live in an English speaking country, there are still many ways to find people to practice with. For example, join online language exchanges. Websites like italki, HelloTalk, and Tandem connect you with native speakers who want to learn your language while helping you practice English. It's a win win. You can set up video calls or chat via text and audio messages, attend local meetups. In many cities, there are English language groups or clubs where people gather to practice English. Check platforms like meetup.com to see if there's anything near you. Use social media, join Facebook groups, Reddit communities, or Instagram accounts dedicated to English learning. You will find people with you the same goals and you can support each other by sharing tips, asking questions, and practicing together. The key is to practice English in real life situations. The more you speak with others, the faster you will overcome any nervousness and get used to thinking on your feet in English. A balanced approach. The four key skills to become fluent in English in 5 months. You need to work on all four key language skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Each of these skills reinforces the others, and together they build your overall fluency. Let's break down how to practice each these skills effectively. Listening. Why it's important? Listening is essential for understanding native speakers and picking up on pronunciation, intonation, and conversational flow. It helps train your brain to recognize common phrases and sentence structures, making it easier to speak naturally. How to practice? Listen to English audio daily. Podcasts, audiobooks, TV shows, and YouTube videos are all great options. Active listening. Pause the video and repeat what you hear. Try to mimic and speaker's pronunciation and rhythm. Shadowing technique. This is a powerful way to improve your speaking and listening skills at the same time. Find a short audio clip of a native speaker and listen to it while repeating the words just a few seconds behind the speaker. Try to match their tone, pronunciation, and speed. Speaking. Why it's important? Speaking is the most direct way to develop fluency. The more you speak, the more natural and automatic your use of English will become. How to practice? Speak every day, even if it's just to yourself. Narrate your day, describe what you are doing, or talk to your about your plans. The more you engage with the language, the better. Find a language partner or tutor to practice conversation regularly. If you can't find someone in person, try online platforms like italki, Cambly, or Prepperly. Record yourself speaking and listen to it later. This will help you notice areas for improvement, such as pronunciation or grammar mistakes, and give you a sense of your progress. Reading. Why it's important? Reading expands your vocabulary and helps reinforce the grammar and sentence structures you have been learning. It's also a great way to expose yourself to more complex ideas and conversation in English. How to practice? Start with materials that match your current level. If you are a beginner, try reading children's books or simple news articles. As you improve, challenge yourself with more advanced texts like novel, blogs, or professional articles. Read out loud. This helps with both reading, comprehension, and speaking skills. You will practice pronunciation, improve your fluency, and get used to speaking English naturally. Keep a vocabulary notebook. When you encounter new words, write them down along with a simple definition and an example sentence. Review these words regularly to build your vocabulary. Writing. Why it's important? Writing helps you organize your thoughts, solidify your understanding of grammar, and improve your vocabulary. It's also a practical skill for everyday tasks such as sending emails, writing notes, or updating your social media. How to practice? Start by keeping a daily journal in English. Write about your day, your thoughts, or your goals. It doesn't have to be long. Just focus on getting your ideas down in English. Practice writing short emails or messages in English. If you have friends who are also learning English, communicate with them through text or email. Join online forums, or social media groups where you can engage in written conversation in English. Reddit, for example, has many communities for language learners. Ask for feedback. If possible, have a tutor or language partner review your writing and give you feedback on how to improve. By focusing on all four skills, you will build a strong foundation in English and become a well rounded communicator. Developing a learning schedule. Consistency is key. To reach fluency in 5 months, consistency is essential. You need to practice English daily and make it a habit. Here is an example of a balanced learning schedule you can follow. Sample daily schedule: 4 hours per day. Morning 1 hour. Listen to a podcast or audiobook while having breakfast. Review 10-20 new vocabulary words using flashcards. Lunchtime 30 minutes. Read a short new article, a blog post in English. Practice summarizing that what you have read out loud. Afternoon 45 minutes. Have a conversation with a language partner or tutor. Focus on everyday topics like your plans for the weekend or something you did yesterday. Evening 45 minutes. Watch a TV show or movie in English. Pay attention to how the characters interact and try to mimic their phrases and expressions. By following a structural schedule like this, you will steadily improve all your four language skills and reinforce what you have learned. Remember, it's not just about the amount of time you spend, it's about the consistency and quality of your practice. Dealing with challenges, how to stay motivated. Learning English is in 5 months is an ambitious goal, and it's natural to face challenges along the way. Some days you might feel frustrated or discouraged, especially if you don't see immediate progress. Here are some tips to stay motivated. Number one, set small, achievable goals. Instead of focusing on fluency as a distant goal, break it down into smaller milestones. For example, aim to learn 10 new words a day or complete one speaking session with a tutor each week. Celebrate each achievement along the way. To track your progress, keep a journal or log of your learning. Write down what you practice each day, the new words you have learned, and how you feel about your progress. This will help you see how far you have come. Even on days when you feel stuck use positive reinforcement. Reward yourself when you reach a goal. It could be as simple or as treating yourself to your favorite meal or taking a break with a fun activity in English, like watching a movie you have been looking forward to. 3. Stay connected with other learners. Learning with others is a great way to stay motivated. Join a study group, Participate in online forums or find a language buddy. Sharing your experiences and challenges with others will keep you motivated and accountable. Remember your why. Whenever you feel unmotivated, remind yourself of the reasons you want to learn English, whether it's for career advancement, travel, or connecting with new people. Keeping your goals in mind will help you push through tough moments. Conclusion: you can do it. Fluency in English is within your reach. With consistent efforts, equality practice, and the right mindset, you can become fluent in just 5 months. Remember, the journey to fluency is about more than memorizing words and grammar rules. It's about building confidence, improving your communication skills, and enjoying the process. Stick to your plan, practice every day, and enjoy the journey of learning. As you continue to immerse yourself in English, engage with language in all aspects of your life and follow your schedule with determination. You will see steady progress. There will be challenges along the way, but those are just part of the process. Every new word you learn, every conversation you have, and every sentence you write brings you one step closer to fluency. As you approach the 5 months mark, you will likely find that English has become a natural part of your daily life. You will think in English, speak with more confidence, and understand more than you ever thought possible. And that's the ultimate reward, not just fluency, but the ability to connect with others, understand new cultures, and express yourself in a new language. In the end, remember that learning a language is not just about reaching a final destination. It is about enjoying the small victories along the way and discovering the joy of being able to communicate in a new and powerful way. So keep going, stay positive, and most importantly, believe in yourself. You have got this. Good luck on your journey to English fluency.